limbo about what was going on, and got good news that I, avoided surgery. So that's good, but still sucks that I'm gonna be out, for some weeks. I'm trying to get this right.
Okay.
Did you see McDaniels coming into you, or were you completely blindsided by the contact?
Yeah, I saw my peripherals, but I wasn't really looking. Because when Brian threw the pass, it's a little out, so I was reaching, to get it. And at that point, it just wasn't fast enough. Freaky play, nothing really could have got out the way.
You're walking off the court, and the cameras caught you, collapsed in the tunnel. Can you just take us back to that moment, what you were feeling?
Just throbbing, pain, and the pressure just from one end of the court all the way to the other. It just reached a point where it's just it's tough to walk. So I had to take a break. Like I said, the first thing I did hear something pop, and the first thing I thought of was that, which I was emotional. I was just everywhere, But like I say, thank God that it wasn't that. But yeah, I just needed to, my leg was bothering me, so I just had to drop and just take that pressure off of it.
You had already come out of that game with the ankle, and tried to kind of battle through that. I'm wondering sort of how have you tried to direct your mentality into toughing out some of those things that have happened this year, and do you think there's any part of that can you can pay forward that mentality into your rehab?
Yeah, the ankle was another freaky play. I stepped on this guy on his arm, but the ankle was fine. I just went to the back. They wanted to retape and make sure I can still run and make sure it wasn't swelling and stuff like that. So the ankle was fine, but with anything like me, even last year, just trying to attack the rehab and get back on the floor as soon as possible. Obviously this won't be as long as last year. I missed 12 weeks with that. So, but just thinking to myself that this is another journey, of being able to mind, body, right, and then kind of like a mini summer, kind of how I treated it last year, like a little mini summer within the season, to be able to get all the way right. So use this time to try to get all the way healthy and come back better than I were.
Anthony, how do you think this team can try to survive defensively, especially not only with you being out for this extended time, but a lot of the guys in protocols right now, or some of your defensive players? Do you have any thoughts on that?
It takes a team. No one guy can guard everybody. Communication. All our guys kind of get locked in. And it's going to take a team to beat Chicago tonight, and then moving forward, everyone has to be on the same page. And I think we got, a lot of guys who can do that, a lot of leadership, who can put us in the right position on the floor and on the bench from the coaching side to make sure we're successful. And even when we're, out guys or out coaches, we're still in constant communication about game plans and what we can do to win basketball games. So, it just takes everyone, to be able to continue to play the, high level defense that we want to play and be the defensive team that we want to be. And, just waiting on guys to get back healthy, whether it's injuries or, the protocols or whatever. We just got to be able to stay the course.
Bill on Zoom.
AD, I might have missed this at the beginning. There was an audio issue, but just mentally, how are you kind of processing it when, you talked about the way last year was, and such a theme of this season has been so much about you kind of atoning for last year and the way you approach this season. Is it hard to mentally adjust to the idea of going back into rehab, or are you feeling pretty centered about it?
Mentally, I'm fine. I'm in a good space. Last year was a more me thing. This year was just a freakish play. So knowing that nothing I really could have done to avoid it, I guess. Keeps me in a good place. The guys in the locker room keeps me in a good place. People around me outside of basketball keep me in a good place. Great conversation with my wife about it. Kept me in a. She's the one who keep me in a good place for real. 'Cause I can. She's with me every day. Well, phone calls and stuff like that. But I'm fine. I'm in a great place. I'm excited to attack the rehab to try to get back on the floor as soon as possible.
What was your,
Go ahead with your follow-up, and then the last two will be Dave and Dan.
I was just wondering what your wife's perspective was that helped you get through it. What did she say?
She's more so everything happens for a reason type thing, which I kind of had to adjust to last year. Very spiritual, and believes that there's a time for me to get my mind right, get the leg right, get the body right, and that I'll be back stronger than ever. It's really just more so of a, support system. Obviously, she sees and hears everything dealing with me, and she's the one knowing, and my kids too. Like just seeing them just makes me forget about everything. So, but she's the one who's always in my ear, throughout the season, whether it's a good game, bad game, win, lose. There's always everything happens for a reason, and God don't make mistakes. So, that's kind of what you need when things like this happen to you. You need that support system, and she's been there.
Last is Dan, and then Dave.
Eddie, appreciate both you guys actually doing this. Real quick, just did it hyperextend when it happened?
I think initially they said that they thought it did, but then from another angle that it didn't. And actually, the fact that my knee was bent actually saved me from a more serious injury. But I don't think they told me that it didn't hyperextend.
And I guess sort of secondly, just a big punch. I know you guys have had a very brave face with us about sort of the way this year has gone, and it's got to be next man up. Adversity's going to come, but seriously, what's it been like being on this team this year, seeing sort of plans, just through 30 games, fail to even come close to being what you guys thought it would be?
Yeah, and whether it's due to the COVID protocols or injuries, I feel like, when we're healthy, we're a pretty good team. And we haven't, it was one stat a while back that me, Russ, and Brian only played a certain amount of minutes together, on the floor. And either because Brian was hurt or, I was out with illnesses early on, and then now this. So we just never had a chance to really, us three gel, and we were getting into it, and then now, something else happened. And it's our entire team, though. We started playing well, started getting a rhythm with each other, and then, all the COVID stuff happened, and then more injuries. So, it's not where we want to be, but we're not in a terrible spot. We're still in a good spot for a team who feel like they could have done more, or win more games we should have won. And we're still in a good spot, so hopefully we can stay afloat, with all the stuff going on around the team, and, be able to pursue our goal, which is win a championship.
Last question, Dave.
So just one quick one, real one. The left knee soreness you had where you missed the 2 games, did they say that had anything to do with how the injury came out?
I never really asked, to be honest. I'm not sure.
And you were the guy after the Memphis loss, you're like, I'm pretty sure they'll be okay. Or before that, you're like, we could reel off 10 or 12 in a row. How can you still bring that positive perspective to the group and have it be listened to when you're not playing?
Well, I had a great experience with that last year. I missed 30 games. So it's time to get in coaching mode, helping the guys. We have a lot of new guys, and getting them still adjusted to our system, what we're doing. Just being there for them, talking to them. I've been here a couple of years now, so I know what we expect. It's all the new guys here. I mean, we only got 5 guards or something like that now, but still being that coach, showing the video on the iPads, talking to the bigs about the coverages that we're supposed to be in, talking to the guards about what we see as big. So now I can really, study the game a lot more than when I'm playing, and seeing everything from a coach's perspective, and from a guy who's on the sideline. So just try to help him as much as possible in that area. Limbo about what was going on, and got good news that I, avoided surgery. So that's good, but still sucks that I'm gonna be out, for some weeks. I'm trying to get this right.
Did you see McDaniels coming into you, or were you completely blindsided by the contact?
Yeah, I saw my peripherals, but I wasn't really looking. Because when Brian threw the pass, it's a little out, so I was reaching, to get it. And at that point, it just wasn't fast enough. Freaky play, nothing really could have got out the
You're
way.
walking off the court and the cameras caught you collapsed in the tunnel. Can you just take us back to that moment of what we were feeling?